He's my little brother.
Here are the strangest human mutations doctors can't explain. Diprosopus. Perhaps better known as craniofacial duplication, diprosopus is an incredibly rare disorder wherein parts or all of the face is duplicated on a single skull. A common misconception, this is not the result of fused twins or an incomplete split, but is in fact due to a mutation of the sonic hedgehog gene, which controls much of facial growth and development. An excess of the sonic hedgehog gene leads to a widening of the facial features, and with enough widening, the features eventually split into doubles. Scientists have proven this by introducing SHH pellets to chick embryos, which resulted in them having doubled beaks. On the other side, however, too little SHH will lead to cyclopia, as the features do not fully divide. SHH also heavily influences healthy brain development. Due to its severity and nature, diprosopus is often also accompanied by numerous other birth defects, such as neural tube defects and anencephaly. It is usually highly lethal, and those afflicted with it often do not survive for very long. However, there are some who have survived thanks to modern medicine who are now living happy lives. Tress Johnson was born in 2004 with diprosopus, and it was believed that he would pass shortly. However, thanks to medical science, his parents' commitment and love, and his own strength and desire to survive, Tress is soon to celebrate his 19th birthday. Surgeries and medicine have helped control the seizures and mend some of his congenital deformities, and Tress now operates a Facebook and Instagram page dedicated to his life and experience. He has become, for many around the world, an inspiration that typifies the indomitable human spirit. Sadly, treatments for diprosopus are mostly symptomatic, and the direct causes are still poorly understood.
Polydactyly. So as we know, most humans have 5 digits on each hand, but that is not the case for all of us. Those who suffer from the genetic mutation known as polydactyly are actually born with 1 or more extra digits on their hands that form during embryonic development. When a baby is in their mother's womb, their hands will first grow into a paddle shape before their fingers and thumbs take shape. However, on some occasions, the baby's cells will overproduce and create some extra appendages on their hands. While it is common for a baby with polydactyly to be born with an extra tiny pinky or another small thumb, their number of digits can sometimes double in rare cases where the mutation is completely out of control. While this mutation does sound pretty astounding, it is actually fairly common. About 1 in every 1,000 babies develops polydactyly in the womb, but the extra appendages can almost always be surgically removed early in life. It's also pretty common for the mutation to be passed down, so if a parent was born with an extra thumb, there's a good chance their offspring will receive one as well.
Ogden syndrome. Ogden syndrome is so named because it was first discovered in a family from Ogden, Utah. It is an X-linked disorder, meaning it only affects the X chromosome. And since males only have 1 X chromosome, they are often far more affected. As in females with 2 X chromosomes, there is a higher chance the mutated chromosome will not be the one coded from. It ends up seriously affecting the efficiency of N-terminal acetylation, which is one of the most common protein modifications conducted in humans, occurring in approximately 80% of all proteins. This deficiency in such a critical gene that modifies so many proteins leads to several follow-on effects. Wrinkled features, late closing fontanelles, prominent eyes, microretrognathia, and many other soft tissue and aesthetic deformities. Many of these are either aesthetic or not life-threatening, but these are not the symptoms that make Ogden syndrome 100% fatal. Ogden's causes a massive increase in the risk, frequency, and severity of cardiac arrhythmias, and the ensuing shock is often what ends lives. Each person born with the condition has often passed before their first birthday. Helena Black was the first to discover the condition, but only after she noticed her daughter's sons, her grandsons, were showing the same conditions as her 2 previous sons who had passed. It has been found in 1 other family, which indicates Ogden's is in fact a syndrome and not a one-off mutation affecting 1 family. Still, vanishingly little is known about it, and there is no known cure or treatment.
After that, we have fish odor syndrome. Although this mutation is not visible, it is by far one of the worst of them all. It will take a little more than deodorant and cologne to cure the smell that is caused by the nasty fish odor syndrome. People who are born with this incredibly smelly disorder will have some of the worst body odors imaginable that are often compared to rotting fish that have been left on the beach. The weird mutation can be found in pretty much any bodily secretion, including breath and sweat, meaning it is pretty much impossible to treat. Thankfully though, the number of people who have been diagnosed with fish odor syndrome is so small that it is almost impossible to track how rare it is. For some reason, the fishy mutation only seems to affect women, and some experts believe that oral contraceptives could be the culprit. So while this terrible syndrome may not have any visual problems, it's the invisible mutation that causes all the issues for anyone who's stuck with this unfortunate disorder.